All right, y'all. We are back. We live. We live. We live. We live. We live. We live. If you can see, I got a special guest in the building. Now, listen. So, this is not a regular podcast for me. I was minding my business, but my sister said, "Hey, it is time. It is time. Get your ass to the studio. It is time to bring this shit to the forefront, and to get this shit on the way and get it on and popping." So, first off, let me do what I got to do. All right, let's get it, man.
This Baby Slip from Rare Breed Mother Chapter. Out here chilling with Big Cell from FHO. We finna get it in for y'all. You dig?
All right, y'all. Let's get it. Hold on. Background check. Background check. Let's go. Hold on. Bam. About to kick in. All right, y'all. Hold on. Here we go. Gotta get it together. Boom. All right. Doc done threw me.
Big Cell in your radio, best podcast show since the Misfits couldn't carry on. But I'ma carry on and get the party cracking. The homegirl, 7 carats, no protection blasting. Get she on the rock. If you want action, 800 plus, it's a known fashion. Keep a backup plan, cause the wheels cracking. Big Cell can keep it real, what a passion. All gas, no break, in and out of traffic. You see your brother on a hole, respect the passions. Whether they outlaws or outcasts. Big Cell's top 5 when you in traffic. Ride your ride, mind your business, stay in your own lane. Respect others in the sector game. Red, black love, the old-fashioned way. You miss the West with the South, it's a master pass. F-H-O, F-H-O, F-H, Big Cell in your radio. F-H-O.
All right, we done with that shit. Let's get to the motherfucking business, man. My girl got something to say, man. So listen, first off, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hand clap, hand clap, hand clap.
You still keeping it 100. Well, keep hitting those asses with the truth on FHO Podcast Radio.
All right, so I'm live with my girl, Doc J. If you guys don't know who Doc J is, then it's obvious you don't ride a motherfucking motorcycle nowhere in the world. She has worked her way up the chain of legends to become one of the greatest females to ride a motorcycle. Just her story, her journey. I'm not saying she's one of the best riders, but she didn't work her way up to be a legend as a
Not
rider.
even close.
In this here game, man, and she's constantly putting herself out there, constantly sharing all of her, ups and downs, her goods and her bad. So let me get this. Let me put this out there before we get started. Doc, my sister. So you have been involved in several clubs, okay, whether they went through or didn't go through. So today that's what we're going to talk about, because that's going to be the number one question is, well, how is she having all of these problems in all of these clubs? So first off, let's start with, who is Doc J? Where you at? Where you from? How you get down the whole 9 yards?
Not much. I'm Doc J. I live in Arizona. I'm originally from Compton, California. That's really it. That's all. But I got to correct you. It ain't been a whole bunch of clubs and a whole bunch of problems. So we don't want to start off that way. But I understand where you're going with it. And I'm all for it. Let's go.
So let's you called me today, and this is something that you've been contemplating for a while. And even when you first made this last choice, your brother wasn't all the way happy with it, because I just know who you are, and I know
Exactly.
I know who how you get out in the whole 9 yards. So, do you want to start from the history of the beginning, or you want to just go straight to this one right here?
Yeah, let me just give a little background because, for those who don't know, and I don't want it to turn into a bash, and that ain't never been me. That's not what I'm about, and I'm not going to start now. So basically, the reason why, I called you and wanted to do this podcast is because, from day one of me riding and my different stories and my different journeys, I've always been transparent. I've always kept it 100. Whatever I've learned, whether it worked for me or it worked against me, I've always wanted to share it. I've always come, whether it was to your platform or different social media platforms or just different conversations. I always try to share my story, my journey, my experiences with other women, especially new writers and new women like me that come into the set so that they can make better choices. And I feel like when you know better, you do better. And a lot of issues with females and clubs is because we go through experiences and we never want to share the truth. So for me, it's just about sharing the truth, putting my story out in my own words, because, so much is out there. So many people say and whatever. And, I've been chilling and kind of quiet, but anybody that know Doc know I'm going to tell my own story. I don't need nobody to speak for Doc. I'm going to come with my story and my words, and I'm going to tell the truth, point blank, period. People that don't want to hear the truth, they going to always say you're lying, but I don't have to lie. It's not that serious for me. So I'm just here to just, like always, just share my story with other women who are new to this lifestyle so that they can make, the right choice for them. And you are correct. You and a whole lot of people was against my last journey, but anybody that know me know Doc is a grown woman. I'm gonna make my own decisions, my own choices, and I'm gonna see it through, for my own reasons. Now, yeah, you were right, but I had to find that out for myself, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, yeah. So, where do you want to start? Let's get this thing. So, where do you want to start? You want to start with the first one in Texas, or you want to go straight to where you are now? Because I think what I'm saying, Doc, sis, is I think that kind of gives a segue into why the second one is where it is for you now. It may or it may not. If you don't feel that way, then we could just go straight into the second one. It's up to you.
Okay, well, I think I understand where you're going just for the viewer. So for me, I have been independent for a long time. For my first club, which was I'm not even going to mention the name because a lot of times you shouldn't. Well, I guess I can mention the name since I'm going to mention the other name. Well, my first club was Other Side of Darkness. And me, I bought it to Arizona to bring them to another state. They originally started in California, and nothing was wrong with that club. I love that club, still love it to this day. I would still be a member of that club, but the original founders chose to go under another 1% club in Texas. And everybody know who we were under in Arizona. So when the founders chose to go against that, unfortunately, I had to shut down the club. So don't have anything bad or anything to say about that club, other than, we had to shut it down because, set rules is set rules. So you can't have different dominance, in one state and then go to another state because you want to get in and try to go in under that, a different dominant. It just doesn't work good. So after that was, and I was pretty much, just doing my own thing, almost 4 years, independent solo rider, just out riding around different states, meeting different people, learning about the set because, being a part of my first club, I was new. Didn't know nothing about clubs, none of that. So I was just really new to the set. So I took that opportunity to really learn about the set, learn about, motorcycle life, learn about, the place of where women are in the MC, community. A lot of clubs, approach me. A lot of people claim that, don't nobody want to be in a club with Doc J because, Doc talks too much. It's not that Doc talk too much. It's just that you're not going to talk to me any type of way and you can't sell me a lie or bullshit and I'm going to run with it. So anybody that really know me, folks love to be in a club with Doc J because if Doc J don't do nothing else, Doc J ride her shit. And I'm all about teaching other women and supporting them. And when they want to give up on a ride, I'm the one right there riding with them 20 miles an hour while other people talking shit. So, for me, that's what it's about.
Let me slow you down right there. So, and what I want you guys to understand is you're talking about a woman with a passion so big and a heart so big that when she bought into OS, Other Side of Darkness, you guys were the first female club in Arizona with a clubhouse. Is that correct or not?
That is correct. In Arizona and everywhere else, to my knowledge. Since then, I believe several females now have clubhouses. But yes, we were the first female club in Arizona that had our own clubhouse, and still no other females in Arizona have their own clubhouse to this day. And some males don't even have their own clubhouse to this day in Arizona.
And I brought that up because I want you guys to understand that when you hear the story further, you can understand the passion of the individual. Because a lot of times, you always just think it's about mess. This is bigger than just a story or a messy situation or whatever. You're talking about somebody who has the passion, the love, and the heart, and bought into the entire vision of what motorcycling is supposed to be. See, a lot of times you guys hear these visions and you buy into these visions, and then you find out it's not what it is, and then you just conform. Well, when you're dealing with a person such as Doc or even myself, I'm not going to bend the rules, because the rules are the rules. The rules have to govern and keep everybody in accountable as they may. So that's one of the biggest problems that we have as being the kind of people that we are, is that you can't give us the rules, but you not follow the rules, or you want to do different from the rules. So I gave all of that history. Like I said, the first female club to have a clubhouse in Arizona, a full-fledged clubhouse, bike nights, the whole 9 yards, anniversaries and everything put on there, a beautiful clubhouse for a female MC, and they had to hold their own, period, hands down, against anybody, just like any other MC. They were truly an MC. So, and this is no pun at no other female MC that's not, just doing your thing. I'm saying, whenever you got involved in it and whatever you get involved in, you uphold it truly like a full-fledged MC. So now you can finish with the story.
Exactly. And I do have to correct you though on one thing, because again, I don't want no lies or missteps put out there. We never made it to any anniversary parties because we didn't make it that long. But yes, we did have many bike nights, and 90% of AZ set did come out and show us and share us love. So I just wanted to clear that up.
All right. So finish the story. So we left off with they wanted to go under a different dominant in different states, and that wasn't going to work for you guys in that state.
So basically I shut that down, and being a part of that club, it kind of made me realize, once it was shut down, kind of more so what I was really looking for and what I was lacking. I joined something that I knew nothing about. So over the next 3.5, 4 years, it was really about me learning about the motorcycle community and set protocol for myself. It wasn't that I was against joining any other club or being a part of a club, because as you stated, I'm very passionate and I love females. I love, especially my new female riders, getting into motorcycling. I loved it. Definitely wanted to be a part of another club, but I just wasn't seeing any club that I wanted to be a part of that was doing the things that I saw in my vision, which was just really riding a lot cross country. I wasn't into just ride local to the local bike nights. I wanted to ride to the bike nights, across country and meet different people. So, I watched a lot of different clubs. A lot of different clubs approached me, some great clubs. But again, I didn't accept any of those clubs because at that time, they weren't offering what I was looking for, which was true riding my bike. It was about riding my bike for me. So there was one club, which was my next club, which was Queens of the South. I was watching them for a while. I seen them, I seen them riding. I know they were not, over here on what we consider the West Coast, so I watched them ride, in Texas and Florida and, the different few states that they were in. And, of course, I knew about them because it was something that your wife, Tamika Queen, started. So I knew from the gate, with you and Queen being involved and actually starting that patch from day one back in Atlanta, I knew it was something that was worthwhile into looking into, even though, Queen was no longer a part of the organization. I know she'll always own a piece of that. And I know that when she set it up with the things that I was looking for. So I really just start, watching that organization. And then, they approached me. I won't say they, I'll say handful, got in my inbox and approached me about, hey, let's make it happen. So we kind of start talking about it and, was kind of watching and looking. And what made me interested really in that organization was because I no longer really wanted to be a part of a mom and pop or small organization. I wanted to be a part of an organization because I like to ride so much, or let me correct myself, because I love to ride so much. I wanted to be a part of an organization where no matter where I rode, I would always have sisters there. So in my mind, a bigger organization with multiple chapters was definitely the way to go. I thought that was really the way to go because for me, it was about the riding and real sisterhood and really not about anything else. So that was the next organization that I went to, and I originally I was trying to bring it to Arizona. I did not want to bring it to Arizona. I originally wanted to join the Houston, Texas chapter. So I was working with Houston, Texas, and at the time, their president and VP, I believe, was Coco and Incognito. And yes, I'm saying names only because the one thing, Doc, is I'm not a liar. So I want to make sure that anything that I put out, you can go research for yourself. Ain't no subliminals, ain't no he say, she say. You can go ask these people if these different conversations happened or not, and you can judge for yourself. So again, that's the only reason why I'm, stating names for those who may be curious or who's on here saying, "Oh, she calling people out." No, it ain't about that. It's just for validation because I'm not a liar. And again, I'm going to tell my story, and the names that I mentioned, you can go talk to those people to validate or not. So anyway, I had was in contact with Coco and Incognito of Queens of the South. That was the Houston, Texas chapter, and was working with those ladies and basically wanted to join the Houston chapter. Well, with them, I don't really know what happened on the back burner, but pretty much Incognito, came back to me and said, "Hey, we want you to look at, starting your own Arizona chapter." And the reason why I say I don't know what happened on the back end, because I've heard different stories. I heard stories that Houston, they definitely wanted me to join their chapter, but then their national president handful told them not to let me join because she wanted me to bring it to Arizona because she's into building multiple chapters. Again, I don't know if that's true or not because nobody told that to me directly, meaning I didn't hear that directly from Handful or anyone. That's just the story. So whatever the case, I never joined Houston. The conversation was, hey, get your girls together, try to get 6 girls together, and hey, let's bring it to Arizona and add to the nation. I thought that would be great because now I'm like, okay, I really just wanted to join Houston, but if we bring it to Arizona, not only will I have sisters, on the east and in the south, now we can create chapters, over here on the west so that when I go, from Arizona, hopefully to Cali and Nevada, we'll also have chapters this way. So that's how that came about.
So not to cut you off, but your original, the thought of you bringing the Queens of the South to the West Coast and further from Arizona, California, the whole 9 yards was a vision you had. So therefore, now you have a sisterhood of riders that you don't have to just ride because you're always coming from Arizona all the way this way, damn near by yourself for the most part.
All the time, yes, so pretty much.
This was going to give you, in your mind, this was going to give you a different, some help, some love, and some more sisterhood on the road.
Yes, pretty much. It was just going to be able to build a true sisterhood because, again, I never was against being in a club. I never was against riding with other women. I just wanted to ride with like-minded women who wanted to ride cross-country like me and not just ride to the local bike night. So it was a challenge with trying to find like-minded women or a club that really rode like that consistently across country when it wasn't mandatory or when it wasn't about an annual. Like I'll go ride to Texas or Florida just because I want to go to lunch, not because it's a mandatory annual. So that's kind of hard for some people to do. If it ain't mandatory, they not trying to do all that extra. So that's what it was about for me.
So let me ask you this because I want to again lay the foundation for this thing.
Yes.
For you, I remember when you first started and, your eyes was big as buttons, as they say, and you were trying to get this thing together. You asked me a question and I told you, and I believe this was my response, but your question was, sell are female MCs really taken seriously as MCs and as riders? Is their passion and their desire to MC the same as men? And I told you, I remember telling you, I said, Doc, it can be that if you can find a group of women that understand and fully take on what motorcycle culture and MC stands for. And you looked at me and you said, okay, well, bro, I want to be one of the first real MCs out there that is respected nationwide for riding our motorcycle, motorcycling, and holding our own. And has that changed for you? Because again, and I told you, I said, well, when you start living that, when you start buying into that, be careful, because a lot of people are in this just for the thrill and the glam. And I told you, I say, so don't get caught up, get your feelings hurt too much, because it's going to happen. Because once you get into this from the outside looking in, when you see the bike set, it's a magical like a magical wide world of Disney. It's like, like looking at Disneyland, and then when you get in it, you be like, man, all these goddamn Plutos and clowns and shit in it. But anyway, is it still that way for you now? And is that what's maybe causing you to have the problems you're having now, or what?
No, it's not even that I'm having problems, but yeah, you hit it on the nose. You said all of those things to me. And I guess for me being new, and it's so many great women out here that really ride. And I think for me, when I paid attention to, when I watched the Sunshine Rogers, when I watched, Mama Bird out of Texas, when I watched, even my cousin Chalk and some of her road queens and Classy and, some of the queens of the South, Feisty, when I watched a lot of these women that really rode consistently and had fun and, it was out there, it made me believe that, yes, that's what all women wanted, that all of these women just wanted to ride and truly have sisterhood and truly fellowship. I never really paid attention that a lot of these women, like you said, they are out here for the glitz and the glam, for the dudes. And I guess it's a little different for me because I'm married. I'm happily married. So I have no interest in looking left to this dude over here or this dude over there, or I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do none of that. I really don't even party. I take pictures when I go to the bike nights. I'm not all in everybody's face. I'm paparazzi. So for me, I was just so caught up, like you said, with the big eyes, because I see all of these great women, Curves, Alabama, H2O. I'm seeing all these great women that just show all the fun on their motorcycles. I'm like, shoot, I want to do that too, because that's all it's about. It's about riding. They want to ride. But again, I didn't know all of the fakeness behind the scene. And it's like, I name all of those great women. And when I look at it now, because I know what I know now, you got to ask yourself, where's all those great women that I named? I think pretty much minus a couple of them, they ain't in no clubs no more. So now I got to look at it from a different perspective, is that I was looking at the club for something that, for riding and the sisterhood and having like-minded women. But honestly, I damn near find that is impossible, because like you said, a person like me with my personality, because I'm not going to accept anybody bullshit. You're not going to talk to me like I'm a 2-year-old. You're not going to play games with me. You're not going to have me chase and kiss your ass. I'm going to ride my bike and I'm going to outride damn near everybody in your organization. So because of that, just like you told me and other people told me, people want me to join their organization because I'm Doc J, because they know I ride my shit and they know I'm a good look for them. But soon as Doc J show you that I am Doc J, I'm going to talk my shit, I'm going to do me, and you're not going to control me, you're not going to have them chains around my neck, then when that happen is, oh, fuck Doc J. Ain't nobody rocking with Doc J. And I'm okay with that. You ain't got to rock with me. If you're not going to rock with me 100% and rock with me the right way, because I am who I am, you're only going to rock with me because of what you think I can do for you, then you don't need to rock with me. I'm cool just doing me like I've been doing. And that's never going to change.
So we here now. You made a decision. And see, and this is where people fuck up with me at. And they fuck up with you at. because reading is fundamental, and we love to read. So when you
We read too much.
yeah, when you give us the bylaws and you give us the rules and the regulations, because like I tell everybody, and this is something that I came up with a long time ago. If you had to pick your club, not knowing which vest was which club was which, but if you had to pick up the bylaws or pick up the mission statement and read the mission statement and make a decision for that club to join, whatever you it's four mission statements in front of you. You don't know what clubs they belong to, but you read the mission statement and you read the bylaws, and then you had to choose your club based on that. A lot of you guys would not be in your club, or you would realize that your club has lied to you from the very beginning. So here we are now with you, Doc, after, again, the rules, protocol, how things are supposed to go. The purpose of this whole podcast today was to say, listen, again, it has to stop with the games. And if you're going to be this great organization or this great person that you claim to be, then you have to abide by the rules that you set forth. So where we at?
Yeah, and and speaking of the bylaws, I want to touch on, and it's almost like we're gonna have to do two parts to this interview because I can see it's getting good, and I definitely want to make sure we touch everything. And again, for people that's just joining, I want to make sure we touch everything for not those women or even men who've been around the set since before Jesus was a baby. I'm talking about the new people like me that just came aboard within the last 4 to 6 years, still trying to figure this stuff out. I want to make sure that these folks, including myself, that we make informed decisions with how we're moving out here. Because like you said, a lot of the glitz and the glam get us caught up in joining things, for the wrong reason. And when you mentioned about the bylaws, it's so funny that you said that because that's also part of the issue. My who was supposed to be my regional, because let me get clear, we were prospecting for the Queens of the South. Everybody know we were in t-shirts, so we had not patched over. So really, I'm speaking from a prospect point of view because we never finished the process. So I just want to make that clear. But in going through the process, my regional president, Black and Mal, came to Arizona, I believe it was a month ago, to sit down with me and some of my club sisters, to go over the new bylaws that they had just created for us. And she made a comment because, we were talking about bylaws, and I pointed out to her, hey, that's not in the bylaws. Show me in the bylaws where it says X, Y, and Z. Now, mind you, she had a copy of the bylaws in her hand. So it should not take nothing for you to turn to page 10 of the bylaws and show me where it says in the bylaws what we were discussing. Her response to me, and again, I'm going to name people because I always want my stuff to be verified, or they can lie and say I didn't say it, but I did, and she said it. So it was myself, T. Luscious, Flights. It was Yolanda, me, T. Luscious, Flights, and Yolanda was at this meeting. So Black and Mal said, well, it does say that, and when you and your sisters have the meeting, y'all can go over it, and then you can come back to me with questions if it's not there. I said, no, I know what's in the bylaws. Show me in the bylaws where it says X, Y, and Z, because that's incorrect. This is what it says in the bylaws. What's funny to me is her response was, Doc J, I can see now, you just, you got to go word for word, but bylaws changes. And, sometimes we'll go to different events and it's going to change with what's mandatory and what's not mandatory. And you got to kind of roll with the flow. So I thought that was fun. And I told her, I said, no, that's the purpose of bylaws. There is no, it's only black and white for Doc and Jay. There is no gray. There is no in between, and her response to that was just kind of, I see Doc J, I see you go by the book. So she's telling me because I go by the book that they wrote, really I'm a problem child because I go by the book. So my thing is, when you mention bylaws, that's part of the problem. It's funny because these clubs want to create bylaws. They want to use the bylaws when it's convenient for them. But when you take those same bylaws, because like you said, Thel, we read, and I read very well with 5 degrees and several certificates, and I use them right back on you. Now, all of a sudden, it's oh, you go by the book and that's a problem. So
No,
you are correct. Even if you have bylaws in front of you and you pick bylaws that may look good, dealing with certain, individuals or organizations that be on power trips, they always want to change bylaws when it's convenient for them. And that's why a lot of clubs have issues. So I tell this story because I want women and men who are new to this lifestyle that you really got to even be careful with bylaws that you see because they change them every other day. They tell you one thing. Soon as you bring it up and go against it, it may not be the same. So if you're looking for a club that's going to strictly follow bylaws and you think you got really rules, I don't believe it's any club out there that really is going to stick to those bylaws. They change them a lot. So just be aware of that.
Okay. So this brings us to what your problem that you have now with the Queens of the South. As far as, and I'm going to say this too, that when you made this decision to join this the new organization, Queens of the South, one thing you said was, big bro, is I'm going to take my time. If they say we could do it in 6 months, I'm going to make us do it in a year, because I really want to make sure that the ladies understand.
That part right there.
So that the ladies make sure that this is what they want to do, because I'm not doing this no more. This, I'm all, this, I want to do it and do it right and make sure that I honor the queen and the founders, Ramona, the queen, and those people that started it.
Exactly.
I want to bring some real honor and substance to the organization, and I want to make sure that my ladies that want to join with me understand that as well. So, today, what we got going on?
Yes. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because again, you hit it right on the nail, and any viewers that's watching that's in Arizona, from men and women, every time we stepped out in t-shirts and they got me to myself, they would always say, and I'll say one person, Big Country, he called me Oprah 2.0 from Down to Pound. That's my dog. And he been around a long time and he know how this stuff work, and I respect him so much. I recall us sitting at the Soul Brothers Clubhouse for an event, and I'm sitting there laughing and joking with him, and he like, Doc, when y'all gonna get y'all patches? And, Country could say I'm lying or telling the truth. But again, I told him, I said, bro, ain't no time limit in prospecting. It don't matter to me. I'm not chasing a patch. We gonna get the patch when we earn the patch and when it's time. And that's pretty much all I said to him. But to you, my husband, different people, even the ladies, even to the Queens of the South, it's never been about a patch for me. I tell anybody, shit, we be prospecting 5-6 years. It don't matter to me. But the whole reason why I did that is because, like any relationship, whether it's a club, a husband, a wife, a sister, brother, anybody you meet, all of us pretend. I know I'm good at pretending, because unless you really in my circle, I'm not going to show you who I really am. So we all pretend when we meet people. We show them what we want them to see. Because I know that, and because I watched the Queens of the South from a distance, and the more I watched them and thought about it, yeah, they rode, but they rode more where they was from. They wasn't riding past Texas to Arizona constantly. I mean, they came once or twice, but I'm talking about all the club before I started. No, they wasn't riding like that, but I didn't look at that. In my mind, I'm seeing them riding so much in the circle in them little states that they in, that, they really doing the type of riding, that I want done. So, but I knew, because I really didn't really know them. I'm like, I'm going to take my time, because I don't want to go through what I went through with the other club. We're going to take our time and we're going to see what they're really about. Most people that pretend, they can only pretend for so long. And typically at about 6 months, as you go into that 7 month, them true colors start coming out. And that's what happened with the Queens of the South. Probably before the 6 months, true colors start coming out with the Queens of the South. So I was right in my session in saying that we're going to take our time. We're not rushing, and a part of their process, the holdup for us was, to get that final patch, you got to ride to Florida where the governing chapter is. So had we rushed and rode to Florida, we would have had on patches. But I was never trying to rush to get to Florida. I always said, well, because I have new riders, we got new riders, we got to practice, we got to take our time, which, yes, that was partially true. But any one of us that was riding with me, we could have rode to Florida and they would have been okay. Prime example, one of the new girls I had, new rider, Miss Way, rode her to San Antonio. We basically rode her about 1,000 miles one way, came back 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles round trip, and she never rode more than 200 miles, and we did that just fine. So it wasn't an issue that any new rider that was with me could never make it to Florida. It just was never no rush because I had already been hearing different stuff about the Queens of the South. I had already been seeing, how they really move. My eyes were so big, like, ooh, I can join an organization with 500 members. I wasn't knowing that damn near every chapter they had, damn near every member, should they lose them as much as I changed my goddamn drills. Because there's so much fuck shit in that organization. When you have an organization that's big, nothing is ever going to be perfect. You're going to always have little issues and dramas, but the different bullshit that organization go through, it can be stopped. It's not just, a lot of times, it's a gruntle member that left. She quit because she was mad. Nah, it's bigger than that. You got a fucked up ass national and handful and how she do business. And then she hides her hand and she say it's everybody else, but it be her and her bullshit. And that's what fucks up that organization. It's not just certain individuals. You say, hey, you look at Doc J and say, oh, well, Doc is the problem. No, Doc is not the problem. It's just that Doc is not going to be a part of no bullshit. You're not going to censor me and think I'm just going to run with whatever you tell me. If I see bullshit, I'm going to start questioning that. I'm going to look at that and I'm going to start doing, my own investigation. And again, this isn't about bashing anybody. It's just about keeping it real because there's so many Queens of the South that, and I told them I didn't like that. And I wanted to make sure I didn't do that. It's so many Queens of the South that came and even put on social media, I'm sorry that I didn't tell the new Queens that want to be a part of this, the truth about this organization. I should have told y'all a long time ago, but I'm telling y'all now, because again, they know when you know better, you do better. So for me, I'm just going through the shit now. So as I'm going through it, now I'm talking about it. It won't be 2 years from now telling people, hey, I wish I would have told y'all 2 years ago they wasn't shit. No, I'm telling you right now, while I was in the shit, they wasn't shit. And I'm going to tell you why they're not shit.
So your thing is that it appears that a lot of the females, once they get in the club and they drop out, that they're the problem. But what you're saying is that the head of the table and the leadership within itself is really the problem.
Exactly. And I'll take that to myself. It's the leadership, because the same with me starting Other Side of Darkness. Of course, I got the club from other founders and I brought it to Arizona. But once I brought it to Arizona, I am the leader of that organization. So anything that happens, that's on me. So I blame no fault on my founders switching to Texas under another dominant, because I should have did my research on them founders myself before I bought that out here. Because I didn't do that, I was the problem in that organization. In this organization with the Queens of the South, it is the leadership. And again, because I was bringing it to Arizona as the leader, yes, I was the problem of that organization for Arizona. And because I was the problem of that organization, that's why I corrected it and said we ain't no longer rocking that shit. Because again, the difference is with Other Side of Darkness, I put on full patches. I got a clubhouse. I did a whole bunch of shit. So what I learned from that organization was I'm not putting on nobody patch until I know 1,000% sure that they rocking the right way. And even though it was little stuff that had me going sideways, I still was kind of rocking with them until all hell broke loose. When all hell broke loose, that's when I really started investigating. That's when, and my members, my sisters, every last one of them can tell you when we had our side conversations, what I talked about. Everybody felt pretty much the same way with how they got down, but everybody know because Doc is not a quitter and we're not a quitter. I constantly told them, okay, we're going to keep trying. We're going to keep trying to go through the process. Okay, things will get better. We're going to keep trying. We're going to keep trying. When my members wanted to quit. And I always felt like, my members felt like they really didn't want AZ to make it through the process. At the beginning, they wanted us to make it through the process because they thought I was going to be a lapdog. They thought they could control Doc J for their own agenda, and that because I was excited to rock with them, they assumed I was just going to do whatever and lay down. Doc don't operate like that. You know what I mean? And that's the issue right there. And it started for me when I had a member early on. I could kind of see how they operate because their bylaws say that, you know, any sister within your organization that try to undermine you, you know, that's not about I am my sister's keeper. You know, the president has the authority to drop them, to put them out. So I had that issue with one of my members early on. And I let the regionals know she's out of here, you know, and she went to Houston on an airplane to bash Doc, who rode her motorcycle, because I wouldn't let her bully other members. You know, my thing was, we're going to have fun, you know, and the issue was she kept trying to get on my road captain, Storm, you know, about Storm needs to do this. And she's the road captain. And I'm like, hey, we having fun. We learning each other. Ain't nobody gonna be perfect. We ain't even rolled all together. Like, hold up, bag up a little bit. So because she was a patch groupie, you know, her intentions of joining was she thought she was gonna overthrow Doc, you know, take over the organization. So she run to Houston to the regionals, you know, trying to talk shit about Doc J, who rode her motorcycle, which I was there. And I knew the Queens wasn't shit when I pop up and you got somebody that came from my state to talk shit about my leadership, but you don't say, hey, this is our annual. We don't want to hear that shit. We'll deal with that when y'all get back to Arizona. Or B, hold on, Doc's standing right across from me. Let me go get her. And all five of us, let's talk as women so that everybody can hear and see what everybody is saying face to face. They didn't do that. They let her run her mouth and do whatever. I already knew what was going on. And then when I got back to Arizona, my other member, Miss Sway, who was with her, you know, she called and told me, Doc, you know, I just feel so bad. This girl was talking all this shit about you to the Queens and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I already know because I watched it. I pay attention. I knew that's what she was going down there to do. And my member told me, you know, I told her, I don't know why you did that. What you thought they was going to get rid of Doc and, you know, give it to you. So that right there just showed me that I was already going to have issues with them because the bylaws said when I told them she was out, it should have been done that way. But then because they have to micromanage, they have to control everything. They tell you, you can run your chapter based on the bylaws. But when you try to do that, if they're not in agreement with that, they're going to overtake that. So that was the first sign that I knew where the issue was going to come from with the Queens of the South. But, you know, I just kind of let that pass. And, you know, just kind of watched it. But again, that was the first sign. And because Doc is not a quitter, you know, in my mind, I'm like, okay, once I get AZ up and running, I ain't got to deal with these broads because I see how they rocking. But the real issue was what you told me, what my husband told me, what a lot of people told me. But I don't look at myself like that. I'm just Doc J. I'm a regular person that didn't learn how to ride, still can't ride for shit, but I'll get on my bike and I'll ride anybody. I don't give a damn. Even if I can't ride, I'll ride your ass. So the issue that everybody told me I would have with not just their organization, damn near with any organization, is that I ride too much. And because they have a patch that they feel is the biggest female organization in the world. And I did feel they were one of the biggest and a good organization just because they had the numbers. Based on numbers, everybody told me because you ride so much and people learning who you are, and people, when they see me, when I pull up to a Queen event, they not saying, hey, Queen of the South. They saying, what's up, Doc J? So no matter where I go, people know me as Doc J with a patch or without a patch. So now when people hollering Doc J is becoming bigger than your organization. So they don't like that. So that's where we start having little issues. But I didn't want to see that because, again, I'm a nobody. They bigger than me. I ain't nobody. I don't think nobody give a damn that people screaming Doc J. But in actuality, they do give a damn that people screaming Doc J. And they still going to be screaming Doc J without they patch.
Well, you know, I've always said, man, and like I said, I can tell this story over and over and over, but the statement about nobody being bigger than the patch is a true statement, hands down. Nobody's bigger than the patch. But you have superstars VIPs and bench warmers in every organization. And your superstars are the ones who put that patch on and they take it all over the world. You know, you can say that they're doing it for themselves. You can say that they're doing it for themselves. You can say all the shit you want to say, but in all actuality, it's just the superstars put the patch on and they believe in the patch, they believe in the organization, and they rock that shit. And here it is, you got the bench warmers and the VIPs sitting back mad because now when they finally decide to ride somewhere and get on their motorcycle and show up, everybody is saying, hey man, where Big Cell at? Where Doc J at? You feel what I'm saying? Instead of saying, oh, hey, y'all did this and y'all did that. So that is what causes the animosity, because a lot of people, they want that out of town or that recognition, but they don't put the work in to get it. And then the people that do put the work in to get it, they hate them for going out there and doing it. So, it was told to me at times that, dude, you just need to stop riding your motorcycle. It ain't always that important. So let somebody else ride their motorcycle. Well, shit, I'm like the dream girl, shit. Don't you got handlebars? Don't your bike got two wheels? Well, then come on. You feel what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
And it's the same thing with you. I'm just really amazed. I'm just amazed, sis, at really, and because I guess it's never been discussed, that the female MCs still within that, not the fact that you guys have overcome the male stereotype, the fact that you guys are out here doing, big boy shit, and the fact that you guys, function a little different. I would think that the female MCs would be tighter and tighter and more together than anything else. And it's just crazy to hear, what you're going through with that.
You know what, Big Sal, you would think that, but I would never think that. And the reason why is because women throughout history, and it has nothing to do with a motorcycle club, women throughout history, we're very emotional. We're very jealous. It's all about competition. I like this dude. Now you liking him. So now I'm mad because he like you more than he like me. That's just the nature of females. So of course, when you put it in a club and then you have a club, and people told me that too. Well, you ain't going to fit in, Doc, because all the queens of the South, they ain't doing nothing but chasing behind the kings of the South, and you married. And you ain't married to a king. You know what I mean? So you ain't chasing no kings. So you're going to have an issue anyway, because they only want to be queens of the South because they want to chase behind the kings. And I never paid attention to that. I'm like, whatever. Women going to chase men regardless of what they got on, and men going to chase women, regardless of whatever they got on. So for me, like I said, it was going through the process of the organization because they had the numbers. I really wanted a sisterhood. I really wanted to be with women that ride. But my issue is that, and it's funny because, Handful told me today when we had a conversation that, and don't nobody like me, and wouldn't nobody be in the club with me because I talk too much, because my Facebook post got me in trouble. And the Facebook post that got me in trouble, which again begs my point that if you got a voice, motherfuckers get mad when people tell the truth. They want you to lie and they want you to agree with them. And when they can't control that, then you talk too much, and I'll take that. Hey, that's why my boy Country named me Oprah 2.0, because I'm going to talk the fuck out of you. And that's just what it is. But I'm going to tell the truth. And the Facebook post I posted was, it's been all type of shit going on with the Queens of the South, which is why we've been looking left and going through what we've been going through, and why we held off, and why we end up having members in Arizona quit, because they're like, this organization is messy. Houston, let's circle back to what I originally mentioned about Houston, Queens of the South, who I was dealing with, Coco and Incognito, love them to death, sweethearts out in Houston. They definitely rock like Doc J rock. And that's why they're no longer Queens of the South, because they have their own mind. And, the issue is, in case people didn't know, the whole state of Texas, Queens of the South, they had a Dallas chapter, they had a Houston chapter. They no longer have neither one of them chapters. Big Texas ain't messing with them like that, at least the ones that they can't control. They may get some more, puppy dogs to follow along, but the real ones, they not rocking with them. So what happened with Houston, Houston shut down their whole entire chapter because of the micromanaging. They had a sister, and I forgot her name, who was a prospect. Remember how I told you somewhere in the conversation, you got to ride to Florida as your final piece to earn your full set of patches. Well, as people know, back in September, about 6 or 7 of the queens, they rode to Arizona to do their I-10 to the end and then a ride to California. Well, in that process, one of their prospects was riding to Florida, to Jacksonville, where they were all meeting up to start their, bottom to the top for their cross country ride. Well, Handful had a discussion with the regional sergeant of arms, who was feisty, had a discussion where Feisty talked to her and basically advised her that this prospect was going to be completing their royal run to Florida when they do their California ride. So when that happened, supposedly, and again, this is third party information to me. So again, Handful supposedly told Feisty, okay. So whatever the case, St. Louis chapter, they had an event in Houston. When they had the event in Houston to stand up St. Louis, the Houston member said, hey, where's our patches for our prospect who completed her run? Well, supposedly, nobody knew about the run. Then me and Handful had a conversation, because then the whole entire Houston quit. They start sending me screenshots that their president incognito posted, saying that, I am basically resigning as Queens of the South president of Houston. I will no longer be a part of this organization, and all of my sisters are going with me. And this is happening because you're not gonna, remake my member do anything after you done gave her a patch. Like, come on. So of course, when I'm getting all this information, prior to that, I'm already hearing all type of different stuff. But again, I'm going to go by what Doc J know. I'm not going to go by what other people are talking about. So again, I reach out to everybody in Houston. Nobody answers my call, my text messages. So I reach out to Handful. Handful finally answers. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? What happened? So Handful tells me directly out of her mouth, and this ain't no third party information, directly out of her mouth, that she don't remember telling Feisty that the prospect can do her royal run to Jacksonville, because, the royal run, you got to go to like Daytona or Orlando, and that you got to go to Central Florida, that there's no queens in the south of Jacksonville. So you actually have to go to, Central Florida, and that she never approved for her to only go to Jacksonville. So then Handful tells me that Feisty, tells her, you did tell me that. Handful said, okay, well, if I told you that, then I'll take it. We'll give you the patches. So they gave the girl her patches at the Houston event. They gave her patches, announced in front of everybody that she has completed her prospect period. She is now Queens of the South, number LIW 14 or 15, whatever number it was, gave the girl her patches. Well, sometime after that, a week, 2 weeks later, Handful is telling them, having a call with Feisty and Incognito, the president of Houston or whoever, and Feisty was the regional sergeant of arms, a part of the Houston chapter, telling them that she got to redo her royal run to Florida, and she got to go all the way to Central Florida because she didn't do it correct. So of course Houston is like, nah, that's some BS. Like, Handful agreed. So Handful did tell me out of her own mouth that she told her regional VP her national VP and sergeant of arms, hey, y'all can find me. I don't remember telling Feisty that, but if I did tell her that, then I'll eat that. Y'all can find me. She could keep her patches. Well, according to Handful, out of her mouth again, to me, Doc J, out of her mouth was, well, the VP and the sergeant of arms didn't agree. They was like, no, because if we do it for her and make an exception, then you got to do it for everybody. So we'll do this. She can either do a phone call with us and answer 5 questions and be done with it, or she can do her whole run again. So according to Handful, Houston agreed to her doing the 5 questions. Everything was good. Well, after the call, it went left, because then at that point, it was said that Incognito, like, nah, that's some bullshit. We not doing that. Y'all gave her patches. I know this is what you told my regional sergeant of arms. Feisty is not lying. So if that's what y'all want us to do, she not doing no part. And guess what? Fuck y'all. We out of here. We dropping this shit. So then Houston dropped their colors. They immediately went on Facebook, made a post that said one band, one sound, and they all put the flags that said don't mess with Big Texas. I brought that up to say I got in trouble. And the Queens of the South basically said Doc J ain't a good look for the Queens of the South, because I posted and said one band, one sound, don't mess with Big Texas, because I'm saying that there is no loyalty and sisterhood. So in the post, I said, well, I guess, Houston is letting people know that we are sisters. We do have each other back. We do stand together, and we showing everybody this is how we stand together. So, the regional Black and Mal, who really don't like Doc J anyway, hey, Black, even though don't really like Black, Doc J, her response to me was, we going to decline y'all membership application because we don't like your social media posts. But again, that goes to you trying to censor somebody. I ain't lied. Big Texas did stand up and say, don't fuck with Big Texas in one band, one sound. So what are you mad about? You know you did them dirty, because just like I told Handful, and I'll tell anybody, at the end of the day, if in fact you don't remember telling Feisty that or whatever went down, you shouldn't have never gave her patches in public, in front of everybody, told everybody, and put it on Facebook. They even posted the video on Facebook of the girl being patched. Okay, you don't put it out there and give her patches to then turn around and take it back. One of my members, when I told them the story that said Storm, said, well, yeah, I no longer want to go through the process, because who's to say we go through the process and get our patches, they get mad and then take our patch too. So now that's how everybody's feeling. Oh, you gonna give people patches and then you gonna take them back? Like, what type of fuckery is that? If you the national, you coming back talking about, well, my VP and my sergeant of arms, they didn't agree with it, so I had to go by what they do. But you the national and you run everything anyway. You lie and try to hide behind them, and you tell Houston that it was really your sergeant of arms and your VP that made that decision when you know it was you. Like, come on, if we gonna put it all out there, let's keep it 100 and let's be real about it. And that's why I'm here, because I'm seeing all of this fuckery, and we keep quiet and don't put it out there, and then people run around and say, oh, it's because Doc J the problem. I'll own that. I am the problem, because you're not gonna censor me. Shout out to Big Texas, one band, one sound. They did that shit. And that's how it's supposed to be. You should stand together in solidarity. And I've never understood that there was an issue with the North Carolina chapter, Queens of the South. I don't remember those girls' names, but any Queens of the South can validate it. There was an issue at some event there where the Handful talk shit to them girls bad. And like 2 or 3 of them quit, and the rest of them kept on them patches. Where the hell they do that? You can't come to an event, talk shit to me and all my club sisters, take my patch off my back, take my shit, and the rest of my sisters stand there. That's what I mean. But you say, I'm my sister's keeper. Come on now. If you're my sister's keeper, if you embarrass one of us, you embarrass all of us. If one walk, we all supposed to walk. You see what I mean? So that's the issue that I want to bring about to people looking at a lot of clubs. If you're your sister's keeper or your brother keeper, and it's not an individual thing, when it's a situation like the situation with Houston, you are supposed to stand together. You know what I mean? And we all had discussions about that. And I looked at it sideways, and I'm telling Handful, I'm telling them what they want to hear. But that shit ain't never set right with me. When that happened, I should have shut Arizona down right then and there. But I didn't, because, again, I don't quit. I'm like, what happened with Houston is Houston. Let me see my own experiences. But it never set well with me. From that moment, I really start researching all of the names of all of the, what you call them, superstars or VIPs: Sunshine, Black Beauty, PJ, H2O, Feisty, Coco. I start reaching out to them people individually to hear their different stories. And everybody had the same story, common denominator: handful is how she do business, want to micromanage and run shit and then hide her hand. And it's all good, but don't hide your hand. Stop blaming it on everybody else. Say that it's you. Then the other fuckery, when Arizona, when they kicked Doc J out, because, Doc J social media said one band, one sound. Hey, your services are no longer needed. Although I had already told Handful a week prior to my post, that they was on some bullshit. I'm 50 years old. I'm not going to be playing no games. We not chasing y'all. Y'all don't want AZ anyway because y'all know y'all can't run me. Y'all know I'm going to do the shit right. I'm going to follow the bylaws, and you're not going to change shit as you go along. And they don't like that at all. So when I knew that was an issue, I'm like, okay, it's some bullshit. So then we looked at still trying to keep it going and going to Baton Rouge. So I already know when I reached out, I'm like, hey, I really did it because I wanted to see where we was going to go with it, because I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt that they really wasn't with the fuckery. But every time I tried to give them the benefit of the doubt, they kept proving to me that they was with the fuckery. I talked to Baton Rouge. Hey, okay, well, we going to go over to Baton Rouge and then we'll join back to AZ. Then Regional Black and Mal tell me, oh, we're going to get with the national. I'm going to get with the other regional Queen Fierce. We'll get back to you. Little did she know, I had already talked to Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge was like, hell yeah, we would love to have Doc. Y'all can come over here, but y'all got to go through regional. Of course, she never had that conversation because she already knew we got to get rid of Doc. We ain't fucking with her. So when they don't call me back and follow up and keep playing games, one day we got a meeting. Then right before the meeting, oh, well, we got to cancel it. Can you do it this day? Oh, we got to cancel it. Can we do it this day? Nah, we done. We're not going to keep going round and round because y'all want somebody to kiss your ass. It's not that serious. So I reached out to Handful and let her know, really, it's a wrap. Y'all play too many games. But again, they want to come back later because Regional didn't know that I sent that to Handful. They really thought they was doing something, saying that they shutting Doc J down because they didn't like my Facebook post, because they don't like anybody that's going to tell the truth. So females need to be aware of, if you want to be a part of that organization, you got to be a puppy. You cannot have a voice. Any strong person, you cannot have a voice to tell Handful or any of them that they're wrong. And they also need to know now their new thing is, which ain't in their bylaws, you pay $100 for a membership application and it's non-refundable, and it says that, which is fine. But up front, before you even do community service, before you even start prospecting, you had to pay a $250 patch fee. Now they raised that to $300, but you got to pay a $250 patch fee. The kicker is, though, you pay the $250, and then when you get kicked out of the organization, or you quit, or you don't even make it past your prospecting period, can you hear me? Because my phone just rang and I think it cut me off. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got a caller too. One of the queens that want to come on, and she said some of the stuff you said is not true. So hold on a second.
Okay, that's fine. And we could definitely talk about it. We could definitely talk about it, because Doc J ain't no lying. We could definitely have a debate. But let me finish this sentence. So then the next thing is that the $250 that you pay up front, but then you don't get the $250 back if you quit. If you don't make it, it's just basically you're paying for a product and you never receive the product. You just pay $250 and you never get the patch. You just walk away with your $250. Well, so okay. I just think that's funny too, and people need to know that, because that's crazy to me. You're paying for patches and they're saying if you never make it, you gotta pay it up front, but if you never make it, we still keeping your patch money.
Okay, so to that real quick, as I had a call on the line that's been waiting, but to that right there, if you never received the patch, then the $250 should be coming. If you never received, now if you receive the patch, put it on and wear it, and you got to give it up, that is what it is. But if you never received it, then
no, we never received the patches. They require you to mail them your vest. We mailed them the vest. We sent them the $250. We never got the $250 back. We did receive the vest. There are no patches sold on in the vest, and there is no check in the vest. And for me, anybody that know me know, I wiped $250 with my ass. When they came out here, I paid over thousands of dollars getting hotel rooms, buying food for bike night, doing all that. So $250 ain't shit to me. It's just the principle. Like, fair is fair. Like you said, if you don't get a product, give people back their money. And it's not just about Doc J. It's about the other 5 girls that Doc J brought into this organization that Doc J is responsible about. So at the end of the day, I was
John.
looking at a text that was from somebody else. I'm like, what are you talking about? Stupid and charity in Dallas. Oh, they must be talking about the
They said-
handful of people, because I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I just got sidetracked by this comment that popped up on the screen. That's funny. But whatever the case, like I said, it's not just about me. Like they said, one band, one sound. I wipe 250 with my ass, but my other members, they might need their 250. You know, nobody knew that, hey, you just pay 250 and you never get it back, nor was it ever our intentions to think that we was never going to finish the process. You know, I went into this with my whole heart. I didn't know all this drum and all this bullshit was going to be happening. I didn't know all these queens was going through all the stuff that they was going through that they never talked about until after they left. So my issue is, like I said, this is still new. I'm just leaving. I'm just done with the organization, you know, and my thing is, I wouldn't have said nothing, but when you want to play, it's like, okay, since we want to play, I'm going to tell my own story. I don't need nobody to go on Facebook and say this, what happened with Doc. You can hear it out of my mouth. I'll tell you exactly what happened and what went down. And I'm okay with that. For me, it was never really so much about a patch. I'm going to ride my shit anyway. I'm going to continue to ride my shit. It's not about the patch. It was about building a true sisterhood for me and really riding with other individuals and not just being solo all the time. That was the whole purpose of looking at trying to get involved with that organization. That's all it was about for me.
All right, so caller, if you're still there, I hope you're still there. State your name, where you calling from. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, Big Phil? What's up, Don?
Hey, what's up? Who is this?
This Unbreakable.
She said this is Unbreakable, president of what?
Queens of the South Memphis.
Okay, Queens of the South Memphis. What do you got
Hey,
for her?
Unbreakable.
Hey, baby. Well, first of all, me and Dr. J's been cool for before he was Queens of the South. So it's never an issue with me and Dr. J. But I do like to, say right is right and wrong is wrong. What she's been through, I really can't speak on all of that. Me and her have talked about it a couple times. But as far as the thing as far as Houston and the young lady getting her colors and then they taking her talking her like bullshit. She never got her colors back then. That's a lie. Those colors did not belong to her. That was another full cast member's colors.
So the
Central
color,
Florida never
Yes, let me respond. Yes,
Let me
respond to that.
hold on, Dr. J. Hold on, Dr. J.
Okay.
And Dr. J, you have to remember, I ain't no puppet. If I'm a whole lot of things, a puppet ain't one.
Hello, what happened? It disappeared. Sal, the live is gone. I can't hear her.
Go ahead.
It cut out, Sal. What did she say? It's cut out.
Repeat what you said.
I said I might be a whole lot of things, but everybody knows Unbreakable ain't no puppet. I ain't never gonna puppet for nobody. But I'm gonna tell facts and right is right and wrong is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as people being a puppet, it ain't being a puppet. If Queens of the South was so bad, why up until recently you still didn't fight for the process? You said from day one you've been knowing Queens of the South one shit. You just tried to get in the Baton Rouge stuff. So if Queens of the South one shit, why you didn't talk to belong to the world of the business? You went through 2 groups of women. So it wasn't just Queens of the South. You had your own issues with certain group of ladies. You would have been got your patches, but one lady quit on you. Queens of the South didn't quit on you. Your lady quit on you. So tell everything. Don't just tell the fucked up part. Yeah, that's an organization and now by far, we're not perfect. By far. And there's a lot of fucked up shit. Me and him was up and down. I done fucked and put off 10 times, but I'm still rocking my colors. Because I ain't no fuck. Don't know who motherfucking about it run me.
Exactly. Okay, let me respond to a couple of those points. You said. Hello, can you hear me?
As far as practice within your bylaws. Once you post that 250, you don't get no 250 there.
Okay, so
Okay, can I respond? Sel,
yeah,
can I respond?
hold on. I'm gonna turn one of y'all on and off at the same time. I'm gonna turn one of y'all on and off. Okay, right now.
Okay, I need to respond to her her statements.
You gotta respond. So are you still? You got more you want to say, ma'am?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I just want the white people to keep it 100.
Okay, so
because if they gave us the social paper, but you don't have a group of women that want to rock you. Keep it 100.
okay.
I'm about to as soon as I can speak.
Okay, go ahead.
Do I got the floor now?
Yes, you got it. Go ahead.
All right. And again, yeah, like Queen Unbreakable said, that's my girl. Love her to death. Gonna still love her after this. And yeah, we're gonna keep it 100. So let me respond to the first part. When she said that the girl from Houston never received her patches. Okay, so what she's referring to, and it's still the same thing, but we can do the word play, and I'm okay with that. So let me spell it out so that everybody know the truth. I just gave a summation. When they stood up in Houston, it was St. Louis chapter that stood up. They had the patches for the St. Louis girls, with the St. Louis girls' names and information. It came up saying, where's the girl patch for Houston? Because they didn't have her patch, they gave her one of the St. Louis girl patches and said, well, we'll deal with it when we get back and have the National Sergeant of Arm mail you your patches. We will have them mail the patches to you. So Unbreakable is correct. They gave her one of the St. Louis patches, but they gave it to her in stating that, yes, you have completed the process. If in fact she did not complete the process, then you don't give her nobody patch. Did they or did they not post on Facebook that this girl became a full patch member? She finished the process and she is now Queens of the South Houston. Did Houston not quit because they told her she completed the process and then went back and said they did it? That's the only point that I'm making on that. That's number one. Number two, in reference to Baton Rouge, I believe I did say in the conversation, and I'm not sure what part Unbreakable jumped in, so I'll repeat it. I believe I did say several times in the process that I continue to try to go through the process to not quit, regardless of what people were saying, what people was doing, even the little stuff that I was hearing. I'm still trying to go through the process. And the reason why Baton Rouge came up when she said the Queens didn't quit on me, I quit on them, or my girls quit on me. Let's keep it 100. My girls quit when I had a meeting with them on January 15th to tell them, because they didn't know, because I was trying to keep it off the forefront, although Dallas and Houston was all over Facebook with all type of bullshit. I never sat down with AZ and told them everything that exactly was going on with Houston and Dallas, because the holidays came, so much stuff had came up. I believe Unbreakable said all my girls quit on me. No, it was one girl that quit, which she quit way back in August. That was the story that I told about the girl that went to Houston and having an issue with me telling her, stop trying to bully the road captain. Okay, so when Baton Rouge came up, I had a meeting with all of my girls to finally let them know what was going on with Houston and Dallas, because they're very smart. They seen a lot of different stuff. They just really didn't know what was what. And they never heard it from me. And they never really knew that the whole Houston chapter was shut down and that Dallas no longer existed. They knew some Dallas was now another group of roses or somebody, but they did not know that Dallas was gone as well. So when I gave them all of that information, this is why these girls quit. And when they quit, because I'm still with the other girls that's left, they're still wanting to go through the process. I'm like, okay, we'll try to keep it going. We got two options. We can either get 3 more girls, or we can look at going to the next chapter, which is Baton Rouge. So we looked at going to Baton Rouge. I reached out to Baton Rouge Sergeant of Arms, that's protocol, letting her know what was going on, which is Queen Nicety, and for her to reach out to her president, Farrah, to see what she thought if we went over to Baton Rouge. Nicety told me that Feisty told me that her president, she talked to her president. They had no issues with us coming to Baton Rouge, but we needed to go through regional to have that discussion with regional. I immediately called regional, Black and Mild, and I spoke to her and I told her, well, hey, I let her know we had our meeting. These 3 girls left. We got 2 options to get 3 more girls, or we can go over to Baton Rouge, the next chapter, which people would see if we really went over and then brought it back to Arizona. People would see that we really were here, because a lot of people in Arizona never believed the Queens of the South was going to come here anyway. Just like some of the members within my club, with all of the different issues we was having, they never believed we would make it through the process. So that was my way of even showing them, okay, if y'all want to hang in here and do it, I'll do it for y'all that's left. I'll look and see if we can go to Baton Rouge. So I made that call. Then when I reached out to the regional, Black and Mild said, well, because you don't have the 6, even though the bylaws say you got 6 months, she said, yeah, you're right. You got 2 options, to get the 3 immediately or go over to Baton Rouge. But I don't know how that would work. Let me talk to the other regional fears, and let me talk to the national, and I'll get back to you. I waited for 2 weeks. She set a meeting where we were supposed to have a discussion on Tuesday. So Tuesday come, she canceled it and said Fierce wasn't available. Can we have the meeting on Friday? So I'm like, okay. Then Friday come, I reach out and say, hey, are we having this meeting? Because at that point, it don't take 2 weeks to tell somebody, yes, you could come to Baton Rouge, or no. So at that point, I was already over and done with it, because I'm like, they're playing games, but we gonna see it all the way through, because I want to make sure that I give my sisters the full information that I'm doing everything that they told me that they wanted to try to do. If it was just Doc J, you're right, Queen Unbreakable. Like I said, I would have been done with the shit. But again, I brought these women into this saying this is what we're going to do. Although 3 left, I still had 3. Plus, I had other people wanting to come asking me, no, Doc, it's almost been a year. You know, we tried to do this. Can we go ahead and try to push it through? So I tried to push it through based on that to Baton Rouge, but then Black and Mild came on Friday saying, well, now we got to cancel this meeting. Can you meet tomorrow? And I'm like, nah, this some bullshit. Now you playing games, because I already knew Black and Mild was going to come at me with some bullshit that she never, to my knowledge, took it to Baton Rouge to see if Baton Rouge had an issue. And I never told her that I talked to Baton Rouge, and Baton Rouge said that they was okay with it. So I just wanted to address that with Unbreakable saying that if it was so bad, why would I do X, Y, and Z, this and that? Well, I explained it before. Now I explained it in greater detail. That's why I continue with the Baton Rouge. But the regionals kept playing games, and I'm like, fuck it, it's done. It's a wrap. We're over it. Then the national, I asked Handful, I said, who do I need to contact to get our vests from? So Handful said, you need to reach out to Set It Off. I reached out to Set It Off, who I believe is the national VP. I reached out to Set It Off. Hey, what do I need to do to get my vest? Handful said, you know, we need to go through you. At that point, Set It Off called me and said, what's going on? What happened? And I ran it down to Set It Off and let her know what happened with Baton Rouge. They never had my meeting. They never followed up with me. I'm not going to keep playing games. I'm not going to chase and do all this bullshit. Set It Off said, let me get back with Handful. I'll get back with you. What Unbreakable didn't mention, and I don't even know if she knew, but, you know, like she said, let's keep it 100. We're going to keep it 100 and put it out there. So when Set It Off called me and we went through all that, she then came back and said, you know what do you think about Arkansas? Because Arkansas don't have their members. And, you know, Arkansas ready to shut it down too because of all of the bullshit. So what about y'all going to Arkansas? I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, Eye Candy, the same way I love Unbreakable, I got love for Eye Candy. I'm like, well, you know, I got much love for Eye Candy. And see, this is some bullshit. When I brought up Baton Rouge, they never said nothing about Arkansas. They could have said if they really wanted us, they could have said, well, Arkansas is short. Arkansas is closer. You guys can go to Arkansas. But they never said that because they really didn't want us. Let's keep it 100. I was playing games with them as long as they was playing games with me. Once it became clear, like my membership nurse kept telling me, Doc, they don't want AZ. I kept saying, no, 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 no. Once it became clear that they really didn't want AZ, it became clear when Set It Off and Eye Candy sat there and said they never mentioned to Arkansas that we were short and we could have went to Arkansas. Then after the Arkansas stuff, we was going to do Arkansas. Then that's when they said I'm declined, because at that point I'm over the bullshit. And because I make a post to say one band, one sound, they say, you know, I'm not a good look for the Queens, which is okay with me. This ain't about nobody being bad. If that's what Unbreakable said, it has nothing to do with that. It goes back to what I said at the beginning of this call. Anybody that know me, even before the Queens, I've always did interviews about my experiences. I don't know what make Queens of the South think that I'm not gonna do this with them. I would have not did it and just went quietly, but because they want to play games and do all this bullshit, I'm gonna tell my own story and be done with it.
All right, Doc, we got one of the ex-Queens on the line. Caller, hold on, caller, make sure you're on it. Caller, state your name, where you calling from. You on live.
Hey, this Miss Badass.
Miss Badass in the building. What's going on?
Ain't nothing much. You know, hey, lady, it's good that you point this stuff out and you bring it up. It's funny, you know, people try to defend things that they stand behind, things that they think they invested time in, but reality, those on the outside don't see what's going on. It takes one to go through it to know it. What we went through in Charlotte, North Carolina, was it of all things. To be accused of stealing money, $3,000. Bitch, I put that much in my bike in a day. You still change. So, you know, I had to leave less than a year of being on board, and I washed my hands with that shit. But at the end of the day, Doc J, before you came on board, it was said you would never be a queen. You would never be allowed to be in the nation. So when you came through, it was a surprise to many. Stated that you'll never be there. So it was already.
And you know what's so funny? Well, not to cut you off, what's so funny is I heard that a lot too. And that's the other reason why I even drug the process out so long, because see, I didn't know. A lot of people were saying I would never be a queen of the South. They were saying that because they know my principles. They know I ain't with no bullshit. They know I ain't no punk. And they know you ain't going to talk to me any type of way and I'm not going to kiss your ass. But I thought people were saying I wouldn't make it to be a queen because of the fake hater, because, oh, you know, the queen patch. That's what I thought. But I now know why everybody was saying that I would never be in the queen nation, because they knew I was too strong, but because they needed a certain individual and a certain look. That's why all of a sudden we went through the process. Yeah, I heard that too. That handful told a lot of y'all queens, Doc J, I'd never be a queen. But that's funny to me. I didn't reach out to y'all. She reached out to me. I could pull up the first Facebook message. So, I mean, I heard all them stories. And I'm okay with that. I will never be a queen. And it has nothing to do. Well, I'm a queen by nature. But, I mean, I'm okay with that because, again, I didn't realize it was a micromanaging, dictating, you gonna do it this way or that way, or get the hell out type of organization. If all they had to do was tell me that from day one, and although there were many people that told me that, but hey, I'm like, I gotta see it for myself, and I saw it.
Well, sis, it took you a long time to see it. I'm sorry.
No, it really didn't. It just took me a long time to be done. It didn't take me a long time to see it.
Yeah,
it did take me a long time to see it.
You know, for everybody to reach out to you when, you know, the Houston shit went down, I ain't want to bring my information in. Everybody want to hold their stories the way they want to hold it. She would send her minions to do all her dirty work. She's not coming for you. She's not coming to you. I just tell you, never try it again. A lot of people say, hey, you tried once, they go back. This badass was never going back. I cut them fucking patches off at Harley and said, fuck it. I've been riding real hard. I'm going to ride when it's all said and done.
That part right there.
Is what I tell them.
That part right there. Well, I definitely appreciate the call and the common sense and like I said, since I'm here, it's not about bashing and again, Unbreakable, love you to death. I'm so glad you called in and you said your story, and I
I'm not sure who hung up, but hold on. You said what now? Doc hung up. No, she hung up. Hello? I don't know who the fuck hung up. Everybody hung up. All right, y'all. Well, I don't know what happened. Phone probably over here. Hold on. Y'all. All right, what happened? You keep hanging up. All right. So anyway, y'all, I don't know if we'll do a part 2 to this. I'm not sure what we'll do with this, but it's been a lot said. Was trying to get another caller on the phone who had something to say. Hold on one second. I'm gonna try one more time and go from there. And hey, it's been a hell of a day. I told you we had a hell of a show. All right, well, we done. Nobody answered the phone. So anyway, that's what it is, man. I'm pretty sure we will have some rebuttals and some get backs and some other stuff. But again, let me tell all of you guys something in these clubs. It looks peachy king. It's a beautiful thing. Being an MC is some of the most fly shit ever. I know I definitely had some of the best times of my life being an MC. And ever since I created FHO, I've definitely had some of the better days in my life being a part of FHO. And I want to thank each and every one of my family members who put up with me, who challenged me, who called me on my mess. But one thing about it with FHO and with any organization, the bylaws should always stay the bylaws. So hold on, y'all. Yeah, did you want to come back on or you done? I know. All you gotta do is hit the link again.
I did, and it still wouldn't come up.
Oh wow. So it might be, how long we been on?
You want me to hit it again and try?
Let me see. Is it another one? No, it should be the same one.
Okay, let me try.
All right. I don't know. See if they're trying to come back on right now. I'm trying to see if we can get them back on. Anyway, this has been a long show. If she doesn't come back on, then we'll stop. Okay, no, there we go. There they go. There they go. There they go. There they go. Hold on. Hold on.
Okay, are you there? Can you hear me?
You back. You back.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what happened, and now I'm leaving driving. That's why I said it's been part 2. Hopefully it don't cut off. Let me put it up.
It will. You out there where ain't no goddamn powers at, so it's gonna probably cut off.
I know it might have to be a part 2. What did I miss? Because your link cut off when I was talking to Badass, and then
she was just saying
it cut off. I was just telling her
Badass
thank you.
Yeah, she was saying thank you to you for bringing this stuff out, and that she'll never be a queen again, and she's so glad that a lot of this stuff come out because nobody wants to talk about it. But she was just basically telling you thank you. So you say that you already done froze up already, Doc. So anyway, but we will do a part 2 whenever she gets back, if there's a part 2 to do. You guys stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in. It's your boy Big Cell FHOH, and I said I'm pretty sure they're gonna be several different callers want to call in and do a show. But that's fine. And let me tell you this. However messy you may think this is, understand this. That's the problem with us as Black folks. We don't know how to come together and talk about it, the good, the bad, the ugly, and work some out, and to come together. I don't have to agree with everything you're saying, but I have to have an understanding of what you say. And that's the only thing that's going to get us to the next level. So that's what it is for me. Hold on. I think you're back. I think you're back now. Can you hear you? Can we hear you?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Can you hear me still?
Yes, we got you.
Okay, no, what I was saying is that I have to disagree with you when you said that folks don't know how to come together to have a discussion because, Unbreakable called in and she said what she had to say. And then I responded. She and I had a discussion. I don't think that
Well, she
the
had a lot more
discussion
to say.
went.
She had a lot more. She had so much. She wanted to tell you several times that you lied about this and you lied about that. And she said you were still. She said she felt like you were disgruntled and that you were angry because you wasn't a queen. So again, it was so much more to be said. But it was. I have 3 or 4 different callers on the line. I had ex queens on the line. I had current queens on the line. So I definitely want to do this at a different day where we got more time.
But this is okay. But I have to respond to that. I didn't hear all the you lying. I heard the line about the girl got the patch. I responded to that. I responded to the Baton Rouge. But this is my thing. Let me be very clear. And I'm not going to debate, and we don't have to go round and round with people. That's why I said I'm going to speak and do my own narrative so people can hear it out my mouth. Because at the end of the day, my story can be backed up. The same way you got current queens that want to call in, because, yeah, they got to defend their patch. But let's see if they in that same patch next year. I mean, of course, they got to defend what they're still wearing. But then you're going to have the same amount of ex-queens that then spoke out way before me. So I guess everybody that leave and everybody that is mad, they're not a queen, is disgruntled. Why do I need to be disgruntled about not being a queen of the South? Come on now. Me not being a queen of the South, does that mean I'm not going to ride my bike? I ride more than half of their asses. So at the end of the day, again, I was a good look for them. They wasn't a good look for me. They didn't make me, nor will they break me. So there's no reason for me to lie. But hey, if they say I'm lying, I'll take that. I'm lying. At the end of the day, my whole purpose of the podcast is to put it out there for anybody that's looking to not just join Queens of the South, any new booty person that's looking to be a part of any organization, you really need to do your full background check and watch how people move. And again, I want to make sure nobody get nothing else from this interview, that they understand that there is no time limit to prospecting. It is very important that you hang around. It is very important that you prospect at least a year before you put on anybody patch. Because after 6-7 months, if an organization is not who they say they are, the truth is going to come out. But if you put on that patch the first week, 2 weeks later, you're not going to find that, and you're going to go through all type of unnecessary BS. I'm very happy that I never put on that patch. I'm very happy I didn't pass the process. So now I don't have to be one of the ones that's a club hopper. See, that's the purpose of prospecting. When you prospecting, you ain't a part of the club. You got to find your club. So now the Queens of the South is checked off. That didn't work, so on to the next. So I'm happy. There's no reason for me to be disgruntled. I would be disgruntled if I went through the process and I put on the patch and then I had to walk away.
Well, there it is there, y'all. We heard it from Doc. Doc, we will do a part 2 to this if need be, but I love you, sis. I know you're doing your thing. I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
Time for me to get up out of here, man. But again, ladies and gentlemen, that's her piece. That's her story. And I'm pretty sure other people have a piece in the story to tell. And if it need be, we will get to that and get it told. But you have to go back and look at a lot of the comments, Doc, that were on the feed, the different Facebook. You got different comments on different Facebook.
Well, I'm not on Facebook. My Facebook been deactivated for weeks, but I'll go on here and look at these comments. Yeah. And we can definitely schedule a part 2, because anybody want to have an interview with me and talk to me about it and tell me where I'm lying, the same way with Unbreakable. I have no issue with talking to you and putting it out there, because like I said, my truth is my truth and I have no reason to lie. I might do a little summary, but if I need to break it down like I did and explain, I have no problem with doing that and being corrected. And you can't tell me my story is a lie. You can say maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but you can't tell me that what I experienced is a lie or what I went through is a lie. That's my story. It's my journey, and it's definitely not a lie. But I'm okay with, taking any calls and having a conversation with anybody. That was a very peaceful conversation with Unbreakable. She didn't cuss me out. I didn't cuss her out. She was passionate in what she believed, and I'm passionate in what I believe, and I love that. That type of dialogue we can have.
There it is there. That's what it is, y'all. It's your girl, Doc J. It's your boy, Big Cell FHOH&IC. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way, too, to you heifers. Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day to all you heifers out there in the world. I hope that you get all your roses and plenty of motherfucking ding-a-lang for the night. You understand me? It was it is. Doc, I love you. I'll call you back in a few. All right, that's it with that. So listen, man, don't forget Tampa Jamboree is going down May 22nd to the 29th, one of the biggest motorcycle events of all time. Let me let y'all hear for yourself. Hold on.
Biggest boss in the game, Ricky Rose, and I'm letting you know it's official. I will be performing live at the United Bikers Jamboree, Tampa, Florida, Saturday, May 28th, 2022. This is an event you don't want to miss. Get your tickets now, because the biggest boss going to be in the building, and you know how I get down. Biggest.
Hey, what's down? The big dog Mr. in the building, man. Salute to the real one. Check it out. Tampa is going down, baby. It's up. May the 27th. The Tampa Bikers Jamboree. You heard me? That's what's going down there, man. The big dog Mr. going to be in the building. Yeah, look. I told you I was that fan. Yeah. May 27th, baby. Look, I ain't playing.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. You know what time it is. Yo, Top. Yo, Sailor. If it ain't Tampa, it ain't me, baby. I'm ready. You tell Tom Brady I'm coming, baby. The king of trail ride blues is coming. It's the Bikers Jamboree. May the 27th. It's going down like 4 flats on the Cadillac with the fifth wheel in the back, baby. Get ready, Tampa. Tampa, you know I'm ready, baby. Come. The king of trail ride blues.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, comedian Melanie Camarcho, and it's about to go down. Beach Bash 2022, y'all. Tampa, Florida, United Bikers Jamboree. This is the third time, the third year, the third round, and it's going down May 26th through the 29th. They gonna kick it off with Rick Ross. They got Mystical. They got Melanie Camarcho and a couple more I can't even mention. Y'all save the date. Make your plans. Save your money. Tampa, Florida, 2020.
All right, y'all, let's ride. Yo, Kane, take us up out of here, man.
Damn me down. Big ass titties all in my face.
Banger alert. This has its B.I.D.
Damn me down. Big ass titties all in my face.
With my boy Drew.
Damn me down. Big ass titties all in my face.
You already know.
Damn
91 slide on my way to the IE. Just got a call from my nigga Kane Hype C. BID, finna do it VIG. Smoking on that VIP. With a PYT. What's that? PYB? Cause I know she ain't my bitch, but she still trying to get an application for the side bitch. Someone come get her. She dancing like a stripper. Ain't no free willy, but a nigga might flip birdie. Yeah. I'm more like Giannis playing for the Bucks. I'm macking off the jump while you paying just the fuck. I make her pop it for a P. While you suckers pay a fee. Old sweet ass nigga, I remain sugar free. So baby, gon' bust it for a real one. You looking like a snack, I'm trying to eat some. You know I got that back, let me beat some. I ain't Stevie Wonder, let me see some.
Enjoying that motherfucking life, that's all I'm saying. I advise you to do the same. Do shit that makes you happy.
You ain't no king.
I'm trying to be like, how come you not famous yet? I feel like you didn't show my shit.
Hey, miss lady, let me tell you about your bitch. Shake the way you lift your legs, shake it like a ballerina on God. Screaming at your real loud while you grab on your waist, shake your ass in the comes up and lick. And then I felt the mission. Make that body run the niggas watch you from a distance. Had to make my way to you. Let me get position. Back it up, crazy, trying to work that shit. Give in. I'm intimidated by the booty on you, but I'm also gracious. The way you make your way, I'm talking, I'm so patient. Drop that ass like a crew. I lean back like the mate. See what that bag do. Right on my chain, cause you know I got the juice. Right foot, left foot, while you looking back, you. We listen to the left, make the juice. You can put my dick strong, better yet,
Yo, this hot boy on a red breed for the chapter out of Compton, California. Tuned in to FHO all the way from 310 to the 404. Y'all know how this shit go.
Yo, man, it's your boy Big Sarge from Florida Chapter Soul Brothers, man. Y'all know how I get. I'm always listening to my man Big Sale from FHO Podcast Radio. You keep it motorcycle.
What up, y'all? This Big Punch from the motherfucking Candy Shop. We chilling over here with Big Sale, man, the FHO NICKEMMY, man. You know what I mean? All them alphabets, man. They got all that shit going. Holla.
Yeah, you. Knock it off. Sit your ass down.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
You think we playing?
And I ain't playing, no.
You better listen up. It's the FHO Live Podcast, where the truth will be told. We promise you that.
What I into my on the big so in the FHO radio.